Good morning, Tarkov. Hello. What up, Alexander? What's up, everybody? Since I will be speaking mostly to people watching the VOD right now, this is Good Morning Tarkov, the morning show I've been putting on for about a week and a half now, and it's been doing pretty well. Get to hang out with you guys, answer some questions, talk about some stuff Tarkov related. And yeah, it's been pretty fun. So the current plan is that I do these every day from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern United States time. I understand that not everyone can catch it, especially my other American brothers and sisters out there. So that's what the VOD is for. And then hopefully in the future, maybe we can start looking at something more useful. Or, sorry, more I guess easier to attend for the Americans out there. Anyone else that's able to get up at 9 a.m. or just be here at 9 a.m. Eastern United States time. Or anyone that's not able to be here at 9 a.m. Eastern United States time. So if you guys are watching the VOD, you can check the description and the very top comments. I will pin some timestamps there so that you can keep up with what's going on in the cast. And you can just see the highlighted moments and whatever the big subjects for the day are. You can go check that out. And usually the way that I do this is I intro the stream, kind of hang out with people for a little bit. And then I have a topic for the day. Today's topic is karma again because it is such a spicy subject. Plus, we had someone in the chat, which I really hope they show up today because I did not take their name down, which was an amazing point that we'll get to in a bit. But we are going to be talking karma today, so I'm going to rattle off some stuff about karma for about 15 minutes. And then for the rest of about an hour, we're going to be just chit-chatting, talking about what I talked about for karma, and then just any kind of general Q&A. So, yeah. Good morning, Tarkov. How's everyone doing? What up, Jack? Nothing new. Again, guys, actually, you know what? I haven't actually mentioned this before. If there was any moment, or if there comes a day where I wake up, I set my alarm for 8 a.m. here, and if I think that something's going to happen the next morning, I set an alarm for 7 a.m. my time, and to make sure I get up, and then I check our Discords, and I check the Twitter for Tarkov, and see if they posted anything. And if they actually do announce any kind of news or whatever, I'm going to have to, based on what the news is, I might not go live for that day. But either way, if you are following me on Twitter, which you know, at @a_nice_guy over there, I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers if you want to check that out. Follow me on Twitter, or if you're just following me here generally on YouTube, you're going to know. You're going to know that something is up. Because I'll be shouting it from the rooftops. You know, I'll be shouting it all over the Discord. I'll be shouting it over on the community page on YouTube, and my literal rooftop. I will climb up onto my roof, and I will scream at my neighbors, even though they have no idea what the fuck Tarkov is. I will scream at them saying that something's coming. So you will know. And if I think that it makes sense to be live, then I'll go live, that kind of a thing. Boop. Morning, Red. Good night from Australia. Yeah, we'll replay tomorrow. All right, later, PB. Tarkov getting a bit stale. Yeah, we could use a wipe. Could definitely use a wipe. Well, the majority of the community, I would assume, could use a wipe right now. Karma, chameleon. Yeah. Hey, Oblivion. I had korma for dinner last night. I have no idea what that is. Morning, Ian. From a meta point of view. Yeah, no, for sure. It's the end game has been here for a couple months now, so it is good. I understand. Stale is the right word. Stale is the right word to use for this. Finally got my Bitcoin farm, so now wipe will happen any day now. It won't be any day now. I think we're still a couple weeks out, if not a month. No, chill. Yeah, Jack, you don't need to. Breaks are good. Breaks are good. The right wording there would be take a break. Not just, well, then stop playing then. No, just take a break. You'll be good. Hey, Jared. First thing, how long do you think until 12.11? Again, it's really up to... I'd still say it's about a month, honestly. I feel like we would be hearing something. But again, guys, for whatever reason, they've decided to go with this new route of just not saying anything. And I don't know if you guys were here or if you remember from this current wipe. One day we were like bickering about when the date's going to be, what's going on, how long is it going to be until the next wipe, and then literally the next day it wipes. So they are dropping these very quickly on us. So like I mentioned in my 12.11 video, I think 12.11 makes sense, and I know I'm not alone with that. So we don't have a date on it specifically. I think it's probably going to be still, it could still be about a month away. There's some people that were messaging me saying, hey, take a look at this competition that they're doing for May 21st, or that you have to have your submissions in by May 21st. I don't necessarily see that as anything regarding the wipe because it's a competition outside of the game, and it has to do with a lot of video editing, so I don't think that they would make the competition anything to do with a wipe, really, unless they just make sure that there's sufficient time before the wipe. So before they actually wipe, to actually get the footage and the stuff that you need. Because if anyone is actually getting the footage that they need for a competition like that the day of a wipe or even a couple days before the wipe, then they're kind of doing it wrong. And I think that's the thought process that they had, or I'm assuming that's the thought process they would have had as well. So I still think that we're still, a couple weeks out. We're still a couple weeks out. And I do believe that they're going to just drop it on us again because everything is pointing to that. So we'll see what happens. Aren't they having a stream soon? Not that I noticed. If you see any... Oh, what's this? Did they tweet something? No, they just tweeted out a YouTube video. So nothing new. I haven't heard anything about a stream, so if you heard anything solid about a stream, let me know. I missed yesterday, so I got to make up for it. Yes, it's all good, Jack. Wipe is so needed. Yeah, it could be very useful right now. It'd be very good right now. I got a lot of backlash for people saying like the content doesn't make sense. It's not necessarily just the content too, guys. It's just everything. So it's how long have we been in this current wipe, and what is the content for the next wipe? So a part of that new content is also just the race. It's the fact that you are going to have those. You're going to have those new weapons. You're going to have that new gear. You're going to have nothing left over. So you have a reason to play the game. Having a reason to play the game because you and all your buddies don't have anything anymore is also part of that. That is also part of the content that people are waiting for. And I get that not everyone understands that, but it's just that's what we live in right now. That's the Tarkov we live in right now. Wipe Thursday confirmed by Pestily. Mr. Tripp there seems to have been fooled. You have seemed to have been bamboozled, sir. That's the joke with Pestily, man. That's what he says. He commented. I didn't even notice he fucking commented on my video for 12.11 the other day. Because it is Thursday, bud. Today is Thursday. So we probably would have heard about something about that. So yeah, if anyone asks, they just say Thursday because it's very likely to happen on a Thursday. So that's the joke. Because it's not necessarily wrong. They just didn't say what Thursday. They just said Thursday. So that's the joke behind it because, again, it's likely to happen on Thursday. Could be next Thursday. Could be 3 weeks from now Thursday. But Thursday. Like that's the joke. Morning, Pepe. Wish wipe was Thursday? Yep, me too. So yeah, once the day of days actually comes, I'll have to figure out what I want to do with this morning stream. I'm assuming the game is going to be down because most of the time when they upload patches for wipes, and just even regular updates and patches and stuff like that, they have the game down for a couple hours. So it should fit into about this time frame. And then hell, if the wipe starts up, I might even just jump on during the morning stream and then just keep it rolling. We'll see. With the trouble that I've had on Twitch lately, maybe we just keep it rolling on YouTube. But we'll see. It's very, very, very unlikely to be today, given the fact that they haven't said anything yet. So we'll see. Now, if next week, if we start seeing a stream on the Wednesday or Thursday from BSG, that is when to start getting your knickers in a bunch over there. Jack's British. He can explain that to you if you need to. Oh, I'm losing frames. You guys still with me? I'm losing frames. Why you do this? Why do you do this? All right, let me see. Once my bitrate calms down a little bit for the frames, because I might lose the stream, I'll get to today's topic because we have enough people watching. It seems stable. Yep, we're here. Yep, thanks, guys. It seems stable now. I did lose a few frames there, so we'll see what happens with that. Let's get to today's topic, and hopefully it doesn't cut me off. So we'll turn this down a little bit. Now, again, guys, I've already talked about karma many times. So if you guys are looking for specific information that I've already given about karma, do the ! karma in chat. And go check that out. I did a puppet show the other day. But this isn't necessarily about how the overall, I think, karma is going to work. It's how it's specifically going to be used. And someone yesterday, Jack, be on the lookout if someone actually says this, if someone mentions this, and I'll see if I remember the name. But someone had an amazing point yesterday about karma that I haven't thought of. So let me just draw this out, kind of, well, it's gonna be me talking. I don't have my puppet show ready for today, but anyway. So I'm assuming most of us, if not have played, understand what goes on with DayZ and how you can rob people and stuff like that. And excuse me, this specific person in chat was asking how that will work in Tarkov. Would you be able to handcuff people and stuff like that? I doubt that you're going to be able to handcuff people in Tarkov because they haven't really talked about it, and I don't think it fits that well. Will I be surprised if it ends up coming into the game? No, but I don't think it's... I personally, I don't think it actually is going to come to the game. Or at least they haven't talked about it. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. But what you could do is, because in the future we are going to have unconscious states in terms of medical, you could hurt someone bad enough, or maybe you give them some kind of concussion, you knock them out or something, make them unconscious so that they are no longer a threat and they're just ragdolled out on the ground or whatever, but they're not necessarily dead. And then on top of that, again, if this person's in chat, I'd really like to thank them and I want to give them credit because this is a very good point that I have never thought of before. On top of that, eventually, we are going to have buddy healing. You are going to be able to heal other people in Escape from Tarkov. So if that person's unconscious, then what if you, while they are unconscious, you take whatever you want off of them if you're going to rob them, or maybe you bring them back up and you give them their guns back once you realize they are friendly or something like that. That opens up a whole nother world of literally that's so much different interaction. There's so many things that can come from that I've never thought of before because I didn't think of it that way. So of course, if that guy doesn't have a buddy and he's unconscious, then he's kind of fucked. And if you want to kill them, I guess you can finish them off or whatever. But then at the same time, also in the future, we have karma. The big thing about this is karma. And the big thing about this is, the big thing that people are worried about with karma is, I'm not going to be able to kill everyone anymore. I'm not going to be able to get their loot. I'm not going to be able to chat around. But what if you can knock them unconscious, take their stuff, and then bring them back, and because you didn't kill them, it doesn't count towards bad karma? Whoever that guy was, or whoever that girl was, I'm assuming it's a guy because I'm like 99. By the way, the literal math here for the channel, by the way, is actual 99% dudes. But anyway, it's most likely a guy. But anyway, that is such an amazing point. I really want to make sure, I really want to, you know what? I can go back in the chat. I'm going to go back tomorrow and I want to give that guy credit because that is such an amazing point that I've never thought of before. That it's something that we really need to actually look into. And VoIP is also going to be a thing eventually too. So we're using the karma system, we're using buddy healing, and we're using the medical system, the future medical system where you're going to be able to, where you are going to pass out, you're going to be unconscious, and then, and then VoIP, so you can actually discuss it with each other and talk to each other, and maybe they end up being an okay person, or maybe they didn't necessarily want to fight, or maybe it was an accident. Maybe you didn't see that they were a USEC and you didn't want to hurt them, so you bring them back up and you don't want the bad karma. There's a lot that can come from that, and I wasn't kidding when I thought it was a whole nother world. So that's kind of what I wanted to discuss today, with keeping all of those features in mind, like what would be possible. And, also, I don't know what I don't know, so I need to make sure that I'm talking with you guys more, and if you guys have other ideas, I never thought of that. So if you guys have some other ideas, let's just kind of brainstorm and see what else pops up for that kind of stuff, because that is an amazing point. So just, again, we'll explain it a little bit more here, or I'll explain it again just so that we understand, and then we'll get to the Q&A, and we'll start chit-chatting for today. But it's overall, it's the karma system. You have to keep the karma system in mind. We've got buddy healing. We've got VoIP. VoIP's going to be useful there. And then we also have the medical system where you're going to be able to go unconscious, or where, be able to is probably not the right word there, but there is going to be a function where you go unconscious, whether it be to blood loss or to a concussion or whatever. So there's a very real situation where you could knock someone out, or maybe you're fighting them and they have a heavy bleed, they weren't able to fix it, or maybe they just bleed out in general because they were just that badly hurt. They go unconscious, you find them unconscious, you take their guns from them, or maybe you take a lot more than just their guns from them, but either way, make them not a threat to you anymore. Take their guns away from them, and then you bring them back. You either use the defib or you use some epinephrine or some adrenaline or whatever they end up doing to be able to bring people out of that unconscious state, and then they come back. And then, what happens after that? Do they end up showing up? Does it end up showing up that maybe you know the guy? Maybe you know him from somewhere using the VoIP. Maybe it's, your buddy in the same Discord or whatever, and then you end up being pals and you get out of the raid together, that kind of a thing. So like I said, between the karma system, buddy healing, because you're going to be able to heal other people, the unconscious system with the medical system, and then or whatever you want to call it, the unconscious states that you would get with the future medical system, and then also VoIP. Creates just that really interesting kind of interaction and that interesting gameplay that you get from that. And that is also tied into, it is literally the karma system that will make you want to do that. Even if it is your buddy, who cares? Just take their gear and get out. But at the same time, it is giving you that reasoning or that actual, the thought process behind, like, maybe you don't kill this person because you don't affect your karma, and it's the best of both worlds. You're going to get this guy's guns, you're going to get whatever you wanted from this person, ideally because you killed them for their loot, or just so that they wouldn't kill you. So if you go up to them and while they're unconscious you take their gun, they're not a threat. You're not going to die from them at least anymore, and you're going to be able to get their stuff, and you're going to make some money from it. So it's the best of both worlds. And also because you revived them, you didn't actually kill them, maybe you don't get bad karma for it, and you can move on with your day without having to worry about it. So very, very interesting events there. Very turn of events, whatever you want to call it. Little process there with all those features working together. And that's also why I'm such an advocate for proper feedback, and let's just play the game first. Don't just about everything, guys. BSG have a plan for the game. It's just that for some reason or another, they're deciding to release those features and release that plan this way. So it's super confusing unless you know what's going on behind the scenes, or you at least know what they're planning. And let them do them kind of a thing. And then if they say, okay, this is the entire plan, this is what we had in mind, and you still don't like it, then give proper feedback. The worst thing you can do is immediately ask for it to be removed. Actually, scratch that. The worst thing you can do is not even see it yet, not even test it yet, and then say it shouldn't come to the game. Because again, that goes into they have a plan. Let them work out their plan and see what happens in game, and then actually test it. So again, don't immediately after one raid say that this is shit and then move on. Give some feedback. Give some proper feedback. Give us some ideas of how they can tweak it a little bit, and then move from there. And then, a few days down the line, after some proper testing, we'll see what happens with it. So that was the topic that I wanted to get to today. Let's get the slideshow up. I really hope... I'm going to go back through the chat, and I'll make sure I find that person that brought that up, because that is an amazing point. That's such a cool thing. And we can discuss it a bit. We can chit-chat. Let's get the slideshow going. Again, guys, if you want... if you have some cool screenshots or something that you want in the slideshow, go over on Twitter... @A_nice_guy, and literally just tweet me. Just put the @A_nice guy, and then put your screenshot in there, and I'll add it to the as long as it's appropriate for a live stream. I'll go ahead and put it up in the slideshow here. And while you're there, I wouldn't mind a follow. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers. All right, I gotta make sure I have my coffee today because I almost lost my voice the other day. All right, what's everyone up to today? Would be cool. Okay, again, guys, also, if you are asking questions, make sure you're using what Rob Boss just did there, what Dead Bread just did there, and what Ian Walker just did there, @niceguy space Tarkov. That's what pops up as orange for me. Here, I'll just show you real quick. Let me see. See that? If you do this, if you do @niceguy space Tarkov, it pops up as orange, and it makes it much easier for me to actually pick it out from the rest of the chat and stuff. So that's super, super useful, and it makes me actually see your question much better. Now, I'm not going to be able to get to absolutely everyone, most likely, but at least it'll allow me to see your question, easier. Will killing raiders be bad for PMC karma because they are ex-PMC or not? Yeah, a lot of people have been asking that, and I doubt it. I so doubt it, because they're not... Well, first off, they're automatically hostile, so I don't think you really have a choice. And then also they're like rogue. They're not necessarily part of the PMC anymore. So I don't think so. I don't think they're going to count as bad karma. That also make people go in to loot faster because I don't want to get shot, because I couldn't watch because I couldn't watch a unconscious body. Okay, yeah. There's loads of different gameplay. Like I said, that all feeds into Battlestate Games has somewhere on their whiteboard, whether it's actually a physical whiteboard or whether it's just Nikita's brain. They have a whole picture. They have a whole idea, and they have the big picture ideas put together there of what Escape from Tarkov is supposed to be at launch. So let them do them. Let them show us what their ideas are going to be and how it all links together. And we might be pleasantly surprised. Coming from someone that has followed the game super closely, I am super excited, or else I wouldn't be here. So I think it's going to be really cool. Let them just put their ideas out there and let them do what they plan on doing for the game, and we'll see what happens. How will Karma affect quests like Shooter Born in Heaven and Kill PMC quests? Very easily. They're either going to change it, or there's going to be some kind of... let me turn my music down a little bit more here, too. So it's either going to not affect Karma, or it is going to affect Karma in a way that you need to actually think about it, or it will no longer, make you kill PMCs. Or it'll make you kill PMCs that are the opposite faction or something. BSG aren't dumb. There's actually, they might miss one or two quests, I'm sure, somewhere in there that might pop up. I'm not gonna leave that out of the spectrum of possibilities there. But most of the quests, if not all the quests, I'm sure they're gonna look through, and it's either going to be something that you need to think about, where do you want that do you want that bad karma, or sorry, do you want that reward, or do you want your good karma? That might be a thing. Or it just has you kill other things, whether it be the opposite PMC faction or whatever. It's just text. It's text, and it's something on a spreadsheet that they can change. So we'll see what ends up happening once Karma's actually in for PMCs. Will we be picking sides? I feel as though with the 4 factions that we know of, Untitled, do you think we will side with one, if not the others? No, I think you're going to pretty much be on your own. And I think the only relationships that you might be able to, figure out or that you might be able to grow are with the traders. And then on a raid-by-raid basis, I feel like they might act like scavs, where if you do kill a scav, the general scavs in the area are going to know you're hostile, that kind of a thing. Given that the Russian regulars and the UN are a lot more organized, they have proper communication and stuff, maybe it turns into the entire map and just not the people in the area, or not like the UN soldiers or the Russian regulars that are in the area, but maybe it turns into all UN soldiers or all Russian regulars that are on that location or in that location, then turn on you for that raid. But then we'll see what happens after that. You see what I mean? I fear that once you knock out a PMC, most of them will just give up instantly, go into another raid. If that's an option, if that's even an option, we'll see. But for sure, if they want to end up doing that, they could. But again, that's one of those things that it's a theory. Let's test it. That's not that's not necessarily something that you say and then hope they remove the feature. Let's put the feature in and then see what actually happens. If that's how you want to feel about killing yourself and losing all your gear to any kind of potential, again, it could be a mistake. The guy that killed you is the one that's getting the bad karma there, so maybe they made a mistake. Maybe it was from a grenade. There's other things to happen there, and that could happen there that would relate to that would turn into you not necessarily having to be as bad as you think. So we'll see. Is the Bitcoin nerf going to be a permanent thing? Probably not. I think that's to negate stuff that happened with the current economy. It was mentioned that there might be multiple characters. What do you think of having the option to leave raid when knocked out, and then you return to your previously knocked out character later? I highly, highly doubt that it's going to be a thing. I don't think that's going to be a thing. Now, when it comes to multiple characters, it's going to be each PMC. So you'll have a USEC and you'll have a bear for the persistent servers, and then you'll have a USEC and a bear for the non-persistent servers. So it's not necessarily like you'll have multiple USECs, and then for some reason you can go back onto that or whatever. So they should separate the bear and USEC raiders, and if you run into USEC raiders, they will be friendly, and the same for bear. There's a lot behind that. I doubt that something like that will happen, but it's an interesting idea. Given how the lore works for the raiders themselves, they've kind of banded together as they're like what's a good word here? They're a group of rogues. They're like a group of, I don't know, cowboys. Like, they work together. They're bad people, but they work together as a group of bad people. So it doesn't really matter if they are bear or USEC or whatever. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. Well, attacking Untar when they come out mess with your reputation with Peacekeeper. Not sure, actually. We don't know yet. We'll see. Peacekeeper is kind of different from the UN. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't affect your reputation with Peacekeeper, but we'll see. Do you think Karma will be turned off for maps? No. I don't even need to finish the rest of that question. Karma is going to be on every single map. It's for the entire game, not just a map. When are we going to get proper UN blue backpack? I'm not sure. I'm not even sure where the UN is specifically. Soon TM. Is Unconscious confirmed by BSG? Not only is it confirmed by BSG, it's confirmed by Nikita himself. So yes, it's planned. What do you think about the upcoming weapon malfunctions? I made a video specifically about that, TSF, so if you want to go check that out, then I would, or if you want to know more info, I would go check that out specifically. And I think it fits into more features in the game that we haven't really seen used to their full potential yet. When it comes to like repair of weapons, durability of weapons, of course, because it's going to be weapon malfunctions and stuff. Heat, it's going to make people calm down because they won't just be constantly spraying thousands of rounds every raid. So I think it's going to make an interesting turn. I think it's going to be a changing point, which is why I put it in my changing point playlist for Escape from Tarkov, and it'll be interesting to see once it's in game. So again, go check that out. It's in my changing point playlist for Escape from Tarkov, weapon malfunctions, overheating, and stuff like that. Do you think there will be dynamic in-raid quests, like if you come across a non-scav civilian, you can help them escape? That's actually a good question because, actually, yes. I don't think me saying I think there will be is like the right words to use there. I would probably say I won't be surprised if there becomes dynamic quests like that, in-raid quests like that, because the verbiage that they used for the scav karma, or at least the last time they talked about scav karma, was that you have to complete certain in-raid tasks as that scav in order to get good karma as a scav. So I wouldn't be surprised if they bring something similar to PMCs. We don't know how they work. We don't know what they are specifically yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they add something similar to PMCs. Followed your advice yesterday to find Rashala and got him on the 3rd try. Also, thanks for the consistent, positive and constructive discourse. You're much appreciated. You're much appreciated, Porsche. I'm glad you were able to get Rashala there. Hopefully you got his pistol there as well, and you got out alive for that quest. I'm assuming you were trying to do the quest there. Good stuff. Where will the hideout be located when open world comes out? No idea. They haven't spoken about that, or at least I haven't heard anything about that. So it's gonna be an interesting thing to figure out for sure. I do have a theory with that because there are just generally just bunkers everywhere across Tarkov, and there's also a lot of manholes across multiple different maps. My theory, and this isn't from BSG, this isn't from Nikita or anything, it's personally, this is Nice Guy. If you want to yell or re about this later, re at me. My theory is that I feel like the sewer system or some kind of underground piping system or something might be associated to how to get to your hideout at least quicker. So it maybe, kind of run with me here for a second. So let's say that there is only one map that can get you to your hideout because it's a single location. So your hideout isn't going to be able to move around much unless they end up going that road with, they call that the unrealistic playable thing. Either way, I don't think it makes too much sense. I think there's going to be some kind of, whether it be a specific location or a hub or something that gets you to your hideout quicker. And maybe what ends up happening is whether it be the train system with the map-to-map travel, or maybe it's some kind of sewer system or something. Maybe it's like some kind of cutscene or something where you would go into a sewer system, or you go on a train, or you go on a underground piping system or something that would get you to that hub, and then you need to get to your hideout safely. Like, you see what I'm saying here? I'm going to take a note of that because that's something that I haven't actually explained thoroughly yet. But that's my theory on it because I think it would make sense. Other than, just you popping up in your hideout, especially when it's open world. How to get to hideout theory. Sewer theory. I'll take a note on that because that's not something I've explained in a video before. What's the unconscious system? I think I made a video specifically about it. Check out medical. So if you go to my main YouTube page and you search for medical, I think I've talked about it. It's just you go unconscious, and it's not going to be immediate. If there is going to be something that happens immediately, it's going to be like a death. So if you get hit in the torso, if you get hit in something vital, like your torso or your head, you'll go down immediately. But if it's something about like a concussion, or if you bleed out, then you'll slip into like an unconscious state where there's going to be buddy healing, and someone can bring you back. So they'll either use the defibrillator or epinephrine or adrenaline or something, or both, or something to bring you back. And during that point, when you're unconscious, you're going to be lootable, I would assume, so they can take your stuff off of you if they want. So that's what we were talking about. We're factory, then lighthouse, then streets. Yep, that's the plan. Factory expansion, lighthouse map, then streets map. All during the course of this year. Do you think Bad Karma should have their own perks, like purchasing Bad Karma only items from Fence? I don't know how that would make sense, but technically that's a thing, because it doesn't give you access. Unless it's like he's looking for you to be a bad guy. But that seems counterproductive for what they're trying to do with the feature. So I don't know. I don't think so, actually. I don't think so. Scav Karma seems to encourage staying in as late as possible. Do you think they should adjust Scav extracts, or make it so that you don't have to extract as a Scav for Karma? We'll see. That's going to be something that we'll see. We're going to have to play it a bit, and then we'll see how something like that might affect Scav Karma, and how it might affect, the player base and stuff like that. But it's a good question. It's a good idea. Are they planning to add new dealer with some new tasks and currency, like some crazy Japanese guy with yens? I don't know about the new currency, because we are still in Russia, so I don't know of any other currency than euros, USD, or the rubles that would make sense to be there. But I do know for a fact there will be more traders coming. There's going to be specific in-raid traders that you can only access in-raid, and the theory behind that, and again, this is sort of like rumor territory kind of a stuff here. You don't necessarily yell at anyone if this doesn't happen. Hell, yell at me maybe because I'm the one that's saying this to you or giving you the ideas about this. But the idea, or like kind of the rumors about this, is that the first in-raid trader that we're going to get, which you can only access in-raid, is going to be the dealer for the high explosives, the launchers, the grenade launchers, their ammunition and mines and explosives and stuff like that. So you will have to physically go into a raid, go to that trader, purchase those items, barter for those items, whatever you need to do with that trader, and then leave that raid or use whatever you bought from that trader in that raid in order to actually use the heavy stuff, the high explosives, the launchers and stuff like that. That's like the rumor around that stuff. And also it could be on Lighthouse as well. Do you think Bad Karma should have their own... All right, got that. New dealer, already got that. More currencies, something like... I don't know. I don't think we're going to be getting too many new currencies. Personally, I don't think we're going to be getting too many. But we'll see. As a Kappa grinder, will Kappa get affected by the talk of dynamic quests and whatnot? I'm sure, because the thing with the Kappa is that you did all the quests. So I'm fairly certain that there's going to be more added to that for sure. Especially if they add more streamer items, they'll add the streamer items to the list at the very least. Do you think that BSG would add a taser to the game? They already said that they're not going to be adding stuff like that. There's going to be less than lethal stuff with like gas, and you'll have that unconscious state, so maybe you can just slug someone in the head or something, but I don't think that we're going to be getting a taser. Tasers really don't make sense for the format of like the world of Escape from Tarkov. It's a combat zone. Do you see anyone like in a combat zone using tasers or having tasers, that kind of a thing? And if you do, send me a picture or explain that to me, because I don't. Makes me think of PMCs passing each other in the sewers. Hey Bob, yeah. Do we have any info on the Sanitar quest line becoming Kappa quest? No idea. Sorry, Harry's. Are you a real person? Are any of us real people? Is this just a simulation? Are we gonna... Don't go into that. Don't. If you want to laugh at that, then laugh at that. We're not getting into that today. Also, no, I'm not a real person. You think food and water could cause you to go unconscious or still die? Absolutely. Of course. And then you're also going to have to worry about radiation and stuff, too. I have notification alert on and I didn't receive. Yeah, it's because it's the live stream. Live streams aren't supposed to send notifications. And I do that on purpose, actually, because it's not necessarily like my usual content. So if you guys come by the channel, or if you know that I'm going to be live, because I am live, I'm going to be doing these morning shows until I get bored of it, from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern United States time. So just keep that in mind. And if you want to come by and chit chat and hang out, then you're welcome to. But generally speaking, I don't like have it notify people, because that's for the videos. So if we got any news or anything, that's what the notifications are for. How do you think the airport map is going to look? There is no airport map. You talk about terminal, because terminal is actually a shipping yard. Levy dude, so give me some feedback on that, because I don't think there's going to be an airport. If you're talking about terminal, that is a shipyard, not an airport. And if you watch the Raid series, that is actually where they physically were on the last episode of the Raid series there. Forever ago, I heard a rumor about a possible DLC for Streets called Skyscraper. There any evidence for this, or even a mention? Absolutely. That's actually, you might have even heard that from me. So it's not on the wiki, and it's only been discussed a couple times way back when I wasn't actually making sure to take notes of all this shit. So take it for what you will, and you know, that kind of thing. And I'm sure there's some potential for this not to be a thing. So again, take it as you will, but take it for what it is, basically, which is just a super unsecure kind of rumor kind of a thing, where theoretically there is supposed to be a DLC where the skyscrapers themselves become a location, and it's not going to include streets. It's just going to be the skyscrapers. But we'll see. They really haven't talked about it at all, and that's really something I got to ask about, because they haven't talked about it at all. We'll see what's happening with that. Well, Kappa Quest, because for some reason it changes the Kappa to that emote or whatever, so don't worry about messing with how Kappa spelt or whatever. I know you guys are saying Kappa now because it gives you that weird emote. Will Kappa Quests get affected by the dynamic quests? The dynamic quests, Folder, you're going to have to be more specific with dynamic quests. If you're talking about the thing we talked about a minute ago with possible in-raid specific quests, I highly doubt it, if that ends up being a thing, because that's like a theory, that's like an idea. They haven't really spoken about that specifically. So if that's what you're talking about, possibly. And then otherwise, if it's an actual quest for Escape from Tarkov from one of the traders, then there's a possibility that it could be required for the Kappa. Will there be weapon budding? Specifically weapon budding, I forget, but there should be melee takedowns. At least that's the plan. They do want melee takedowns, but it's a reach goal, so we'll see what doesn't happen with that. There's supposed to be advanced animations with like melee and stuff like that, so I wouldn't be surprised if weapon budding is one of those. Do you think having some way to disable or make Discord bannable so it forces Wait, Rook, absolutely not. There's no way that they would do that. There's no way that they would make Discord bannable. I just don't see that happening. I see where you're going with that because of VoIP, but I don't see that happening at all. Do you think that in the future vehicles would be a thing you could use in Tarkov? They've spoken about vehicles specifically, and it is the reach goal of all reach goals. There is no other specific feature that they have ever planned that they would more likely think isn't coming to the game, but it's not zero. So it's like there is a very ever so slight possibility that eventually someday we could see vehicles, but they really, really don't care about them. It's not a priority whatsoever, and it's just at the end of their list. And that's the last we heard about it from Nikita, actually, specifically. If player scavs can protect bosses, do you think player scav spawns will be earlier in raid? No idea. Would make sense, though, wouldn't it? But I do not know. Do you think you will be able to deactivate and collect mines from places like Shoreline? I guarantee there's going to be something that you'll be able to deactivate them. Now, when it comes to collecting, maybe not, because it's still an active explosive. So I don't know about you guys, but if I was ever to defuse something, I wouldn't pick it up with me and bring it with me. I'd probably just leave it where it is. Or you know, if it's depending on where it is, to not let someone else come across it or whatever. I'm not an EOD specialist. Maybe if someone else in here has prior service or understands that stuff, you can explain that stuff to me. But I sure as shit understand that if I ever came across a tripwire that for some reason or another I knew how to safely defuse, I wouldn't touch it after it's been safely diffused. But that's just me. I think BSG should add a fake cryptocurrency so that they can have artificially set prices depending on the state of the economy. Tarcoin. A lot of people are actually talking about Tarcoin, so we'll see. When is wipe? If you do exclamation point wipe, you'll see my most recent video talking about that. I don't think that RPGs and AT4s would be cost efficient if there weren't any armored vehicles, any vehicles at all. Well, they would be if it was because they have high explosive rounds and they're going to be amazing for taking out scav bosses in their groups. There could also potentially be some kind of AI controlled or NPC controlled vehicles that might be affected with the launchers. But you're thinking of armor piercing rounds and like heat rounds for those launchers, where for Escape from Tarkov it would most likely be you're talking about like the HE rounds, thermobaric rounds, stuff like that. The AT4, doesn't the AT4 have airburst? Am I remembering that correctly? Does AT4? Jack would know. Jack, does AT4 have airburst? Didn't they do something for that? Or am I an idiot? Will people start stumbling when they get shot with a 12 gauge point blank? It's a good question. I wish there was something like that, but I think it would be a little bit too overpowered. We'll see what ends up happening with the unconscious state and the concussion states. Do you think people will have to double tap dead bodies to make sure they can be revived? Yeah, actually, because that's pretty realistic. You're not going to know whether they're actually going to be dead or not. So for sure. I mean, you kind of already do that anyway, right? You're not sure if the guy is prone or anything. So, yeah. Could you please turn up the gain on your microphone? I gotta say, I'm having a lot of difficulty with that because I suck at audio. So, I hope it's good enough. I'm not gonna mess with it because I do see it touching the red, and sometimes if I kind of speak directly into the mic, it goes too loud, and then when I look away, it's too. What I will do is I'll move this a little bit closer. So apologies there, guys, but I hate audio so much. I don't want to fuck anything up. So let me just do this and see if this helps you out there, bud. Stream do send out alerts? This sends out alerts? I've been told it doesn't. I will need to look into that. I'm taking a note. Stream alert, question mark. Stream alerts. I will need to look into that. Oh, actually, sorry. Last time I asked about it, there were some people that said yes. Alexander, if you are the one that is getting the alerts, do you have all notifications turned on for my channel? Because if that's the case, then that makes sense. But not everyone does that. I think like 6% of people that follow me do that. I'm a little bit behind here, guys. Sorry. Task Force Black, SAS, SBS, SEALs, Delta Force, Rangers, Green Berets did use tasers when doing snatch and grabs in the Gulf War. Interesting. All right, so I'll keep that in mind then. But I still don't think they're planned for Tarkov. But now that I know that, maybe I'm now thinking of that as like maybe it's in theory it does make sense for it to be there at least. Terminal from Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, that's not it. That's not Terminal for Tarkov. Do you think taking the time to hide your kills' gear if they're from the same faction and you killed them by accident should affect karma? It would make sense for that to be a thing, but I don't see how that is how they could code that. I honestly don't see a way for that to be useful unless there was like specific locations that it would be like if the raid ends and the body is in a bush or something, but then there's just a significant amount of work around that I don't see happening personally. But I think, if best case scenario, if everything was easy to make in gaming, then in game development, then I would say, yeah, that makes sense and that'd be cool. But I think that would be just a little bit too out of scope for them. That's what I was talking about. Terminal from Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, it's not if that is what you're talking about with their folder, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I doubt it. Terminal is a shipping. Do you think Lighthouse will be a smaller map? No idea. I know it's not going to be the biggest map. I can say that because Streets is going to be the biggest map. Will the flea market get removed? It's a huge problem for the game. It's not necessarily a huge problem. There's things that they can iterate on it. Harry's, I made a video specifically talking about my opinions and what I think about the flea market and stuff. Actually, I think I made 2 videos talking about that. So go check those out if you're interested. It's not necessarily a huge problem. It affects the economy significantly, of course, but it's not necessarily a problem. I think it could be worked on, and I don't necessarily think it absolutely has to be removed, but I think removing it is a possible solution, if that makes any sense. I think that there's better ways to work with it. Yeah, so I think there's better ways to work with it. However, just removing it would also have the same kind of similar outcome that I'm looking for. but I don't necessarily agree with just removing it. That was mostly just like clickbaity kind of title work on my end there for that. I just wanted to get the communication. I wanted to get the conversation going. I wanted to get the people that would read about it in the comments and give me their opinion. So that's why I do stuff like that sometimes, because I'm looking for opposing opinions. Because I don't know what I don't know. Do you think the karma system will kind of kill PvP? Absolutely not. Because people are just going to end up shooting anyway. Absolutely not. Just PID and expect everyone to be hostile to you until you learn otherwise. I forgot if you talked about this in one of your videos, but do you think BSG would add bayonets like for the Mosin? I think that's planned. Pretty sure it's planned because they're going to do melee takedowns and stuff. What do you think about visors? Because I don't think it's realistic. So yeah, everything revolving around helmets is as realistic as playable, because helmets are kind of not very useful in real life. They're really just for like a head bump kind of stuff with some moderate like shrapnel stuff and maybe some ricochet stuff here and there. But generally speaking, they've significantly buffed helmets in games so that people actually want to wear them. So that's an as realistic as playable thing. If Scav Karma is to protect the Scav boss, that boy Killa is literally dead in the first 2 minutes of every raid he is in. Yeah. So possibility. It would make sense. I'll say that. It would make sense if they have us as scavs spawn instantly. What would you think about a triangular economy faction system where moving in one direction gives benefits at the cost of benefits elsewhere? They kind of already do that with reputation, so I could see them doing that with the economy. Sure. If scavs are supposed to defend the scav bosses, yep, already got that one. I think it would make sense for them to have a spawn instantly. That's a good point. That's a good point for that stuff. Could there be a quest where in Terminal you can find the raid? You can find the raid MC. Forgot the name, and get an important. I mean PMC. I'm assuming you meant PMC. You can find the raid PMC. A Skiff, and did we get a name for the other guy? I know Skiff's the Russian one, the bear one. I forget the name of the USEC guy, and get an important item like maybe a letter to his wife. It'd be cool. That'd be a cool little Easter egg. How close do you think the layout of Lighthouse would be compared to the hired ops or contract wars? We were just talking about that. We have a not that it's super secret because it makes sense for this to be a thing, but we have there's like a general like content creator for Escape from Tarkov Discord, and we were talking about that the other day, and I think that there will be some similarities, but to say that that map in Hired Ops is going to be Lighthouse, to me, is ridiculous. I do not see that being a thing. There should, of course, there's going to be similarities. Maybe the buildings will be generally the same the layout. Maybe they'll look the same, that kind of a thing. But to say that is the Lighthouse location, absolutely, I don't see that happening. I definitely don't see that happening. Or taking out gun emplacements. Dad, you got to add your full thought there because I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm assuming you're talking about something that I talked about recently, and I have just no idea. So add your full thought there, and I'll get to it. When will EOD not be a thing? At launch. They said that it's going to be a limited time, so either at launch or a little bit before launch. Either way, they'll make sure that everyone understands when it's going to be. How do you feel about vehicles that are only AI, like Untar coming in with armored vehicles? Yeah, it could be cool. I just haven't heard anything about that specifically. It would make sense. I think it would be cool. But just again, I don't think we'll be seeing that. We'll see. HE frag. Yeet. Jack, I'm assuming you mean the airburst HE frag for the AT4. That would be interesting. AT4 does have airburst. Okay, cool. Wasn't there talk or mention about a comfort system for gear where certain rigs backpacks allow to negate some weight of items? I don't remember that specifically, but we do have some shots of like padding. This will give me a reason to show off some interesting screenshots while I rest my voice, because today is probably another day where I'm going to lose my voice. Let me get these screenshots here ready. Although we are coming up to the end of the stream here. Boop, 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 boop. Where is it? So I would not be surprised. I think it's in this folder. Where are you? Where are you? I would not be surprised if something like this becomes a thing. I don't see it. Where is it? It's like these little padding things that you can put in your vest. Thought it was around here somewhere. I don't see it. Ah, shit. I don't see it. I'll scroll through one more time. As you guys can imagine, I have quite a lot of Escape from Tarkov pictures and stuff. Boop, 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 boop. That it? That's not it. Boop, 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 boop. All right. It's not that exciting, but they are actual modeled like little pads that fit into vests. I mean, yeah, like I said, it's not exciting, and it seems pretty easy to understand what they would look like. But they actually are from BSG. Yeah, I don't know what happened to them, but are they here? No. Yeah, I don't know what happened to them. I have the screenshots from somewhere, and if you guys are that anxious, you can go look in my future Tarkov videos. I'm sure I talk about them or show them off somewhere. Yeah, I couldn't find them. So yeah, they do actually have modeled like little pads that you can stick into vests. So I haven't heard anything specifically about it, but I think that that makes sense if that was going to be a thing. USEC dude's name was Mike. Okay, cool. Thanks. Possibility that some scav bosses... Guys, I'm going to skip ahead because I'm super behind. So if I haven't answered your question yet, because I was starting to get some repeat questions because I was that behind. If I have not answered your question yet, then go ahead and ask it again. I'm just gonna skip ahead a little bit here so that I can hopefully get to as many as possible. Possibility that some scav bosses may become less hostile to your PMC. I doubt it. Sure, there can be little iterations here and there, nerfs and buffs to certain bosses, but in terms of lore, I think they're going to be very hostile if anyone's in their territory, so we'll see what happens with that. Do you think adding items with shapes of like a T shape or L shape instead of... I'm not sure, because it doesn't necessarily make sense to have that as a storage item. Because think of most storage items, they're not necessarily like that. They're going to be mostly like a box, right? And as far as I know, I don't know of anything like that. That would, well, for one, that would make sense as like an L shape or a T shape, but also as like a backpack or something. I'm not sure. When open world map travel comes, how do you think extracting is going to work? I have no idea. They haven't spoken about that specifically publicly, so I do not know. I assume it's going to have something to do with going underground to get to your hideout at some point or another, but I don't know specifics. EOD not being a thing or no longer being available for purchase? No longer being available for purchase. That would be a shit show of apocalyptic proportions if they took that away. No, it would just be no longer available for purchase. Let's talk about RPG AT4 thing when I said taking out gun emplacements. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, for sure. So anything where, you know, an accurate shot is difficult, why not just blow it up? You know, the typical, excuse me, the typical Russian thing is problem, just blow up. Just shoot RPG is no longer a problem anymore. Just blow up building. Bad guy in building, blow up building. Bad guy in city block, you blow up city block. Is easy. So that kind of a thing, yeah. So if there's a gun emplacement that's specifically being annoying to you, you just, you know, shoot it with an RPG, you'll be good. HE round. Do we have any footage or pics of Lighthouse? No, we don't even have footage or pics of the factory expansion yet, which is obviously worrying, but we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening, and you know, I think it's been about that time. I might poke around a little bit at some people at BSG and see if what I can get out of them in terms of info and when we're going to see anything regarding 12.11 or anything like that. I think now is about the time I start doing stuff like that. So I'll see what. Check back with me tomorrow. I'll see if I can come up with anything for. I super doubt I'll get anything about Lighthouse, but I might be able to pull something for Factory. We'll see. Not a question anymore. Just hope you have a great day and don't lose your voice. Love the content. Thanks, Pasquale. I don't know how to say your first name there, but I think the last name there is Pasquale. So thank you. Appreciate it. Do you think it would be good when the VoIP can be used on interchange speakers? That would be funny. I don't know about good, but yeah, it'd be funny. Be interesting probably is a better word to use there. Yeah, please use at nice guy space Tarkov. If you guys aren't using at nice guy space Tarkov, it makes it much more difficult for me to see your question because everyone's just kind of chit chatting. Latest info on bipods, it's supposed to come with LMGs, and we don't know what's going on with LMGs. LMGs were supposed to come this year, so... Hell, LMGs were supposed to come last year, I think, so, yeah. I'll see. That's just one of those things, like, I guess they're having issues. Same thing with... Same kind of boat as revolvers. For some reason or another, they're just not done yet. Is private residential sector a new map, or is it just the name for a hideout? I don't actually know. I asked the wiki guys about that, and they didn't know anything about it either. So private residential sector is definitely something I have as a note, and that I'm going to ask. Motherfucker. Can you guys still hear me? Can you still hear me? Hit ones if you can still hear me right now. Put 1 in chat if you can still hear me right now. Hello? Yep. Specifically a 1 in chat if you can still hear me right now. Okay, we're good. Welcome, anybody that liked watching me on Twitch. There's another example. So whatever goes wrong between the resolution problems that I get and stuff like that happening, welcome to why I can't stream on Twitch, because if this happened on Twitch, my stream would end. It would cut my stream off. So we're good, guys. We're good. Thanks. Generally speaking, guys, since this happens pretty much every day nowadays now, if you see a few 1s in chat, we're good. If you see generally like a handful of people putting a 1 in chat, I would have seen it. So we're good. We don't need... I appreciate the help, but we don't need absolutely everyone. I do appreciate the help, though. Thanks. Will EOD be taken out of the game, or is it just off the store? Just off the store. Opinion on being able to drag dead body for safe looting. What is there to have an opinion about? That's going to be good. You take it to a more safe location instead of like in the open or something. So yeah, it'd be cool. Be looking forward to when we're going to be able to do that. Makes it much safer for looting. Do you think they need to lock more things behind quests? I don't necessarily think that there's a need for it, but I do think they're planning for it anyway. There's going to be lots of iterations with stuff to curve the economy. Or to shape the economy. Are they planning to add one switch setting button for hardcore so that you can see hardcore players in lobby? Hardcore? I doubt it. I don't know. The hardcore can mean a bunch of things. You mean like the Deadly Slob and Pestily hardcore kind of playstyle? No way. I don't think so. Because that's like their own kind of in their own mind kind of a thing. I so doubt that that'll ever be like recognized, but who knows? Maybe an arena or something. I don't know. I just very much doubt that will be like recognized by BHG in like a proper like menu or something. Would you get back karma for killing a raider as a scav? I doubt it. Because they're immediately hostile. Do you think actually to scavs? I don't know, but we'll test it. That's gonna be something that we're gonna easily be able to test because we can just kill them and see what happens. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm gonna be doing on day 1 for 12.11, guys. I'm gonna go nuts with the karma stuff. I'll be testing it for you. I will do all the bad and all the good to see what happens. Why do you think the factory expansion and Lighthouse are being rushed? They're definitely not being rushed, but it seems like a weird change in timeline. They're not being rushed. I just think that they're making sure that they have streets done correctly, so they're moving around some team members to make sure that they're still getting some progress on the map front of things or on the location side of things. So they're not just completely enveloped by streets, because not the entire team, not the whole art team that they have set up on streets is going to be able to work on everything on streets the entire time. There's going to be others. There's going to be downtimes. There's going to be things that they're waiting for certain things. There's a pipeline to these kinds of to this kind of development. So sometimes the pipeline gets clogged, and then you got to work on something else. So it makes sense for them to do other things. Do you think they need to lock more things behind quests? Like I said, I don't think they need to, but it could happen because it's going to help shape the economy the way they want. Will they increase the mastery level cap for weapons? I don't think so. I think they're pretty good where they are, because if you master one weapon, you can just move to the next one. You could be master of multiple weapons, but we'll see. How soon will EOD be removed from the game? Soon is probably not the right word, because we're probably a couple years out. We're still probably a couple years out. It's probably going to be around launch, but they'll be very clear when it's going to be removed. We don't have a date on it yet. Will barbed wire cutter be a thing? I don't think so. I doubt it. That kind of interaction with the environment isn't planned, and that's something that you really need to make sure that you have planned out from the beginning. So I doubt it. How do you think the factory boss will be balanced if he only has a melee? He's not only going to have a melee. If you look at his picture, he's got some magazines, and I think I have him handy here. So let's see. I can at the very least use the thumbnail, I think. I have him handy. Where is he? Yeah, okay. Here. He's got mags. Those are magazine pouches. So if the cultists, if there was anything that would be melee only, it would be the cultists, and the cultists even have guns. So I assume that this guy's gonna have a gun, as well as the hammer. How do you think BSG could stretch the early and mid game? Loads and loads and loads of different ways, and they have their plan, they have their ideas, but we're not going to see it for a while because we need to be able to test every asset of we need to be able to test every facet of the game, and part of that is obviously included in the end game. So there's kind of a sweet spot that you need to be able to have progression in testing environments so that everyone, or that you can have the most people possible test as much as possible. And I think that's what we're sitting in right now. Mastering a weapon needs to have better rewards. Debatable, but we'll see. EOD version gets removed on release. No, it's not going to get removed. You're not going to be able to purchase it anymore. It will not get removed. You will just not be able to purchase it anymore. Anyone that has EOD, once they end up doing this, will still have EOD afterwards. You just will not. If you do not have EOD, you will no longer be able to access EOD. Like, you can't get EOD because it is a quote-unquote limited time offer, even though it's been here for 6 years. So yeah, it's like a limited offer. Are the cultists hostile towards scavs? To be honest, I forget nowadays. There's sometimes I know that they're not hostile to AI scavs, but I have never walked up to one with a scav, so I can't answer that. I'm actually not sure. How much do you think it will cost for me to get brought back to life when Tarkov is finally done? I don't know, because isn't stuff like that usually for like 30 years, and Tarkov's probably 2 years, so it'd probably be pretty cheap when in terms of cryogenically freezing yourself, probably get a pretty good deal on it. It's probably just a couple years. Maybe the scav rep will have something to do with raiders. Maybe. All right, we're going to do the last few questions here, guys, because we are at 10 a.m. I do these for about an hour, so it's not too long, not too short. And so we'll do a lightning round here with the last few questions, and then we'll head out. Could we see new reload animations since the old BSG devlogs had reloads for ARs we prominently see in COD? Sorry for the persistent. Yeah, for sure. That's stuff that they'll fix with time. And then also with weapon mastering and stuff too. So we'll see. Do you think that we would ever see dual wielding for pistols? Doubt. Highly doubt with that, but we'll see. Do you think we are going to be able to use the factory boss's sledgehammer? Also a doubt, but we'll see. Will the flea market get removed? Will the flea market get removed? Most likely no. And I already answered this too earlier, Harry's. So sorry if I missed you there. It's not necessarily a huge problem. There's lots of stuff that can go with it. If you really want to hear my opinion on it, go check out my videos that I made about it. I literally made 2 videos talking about removing the flea market and what it would do and stuff like that. So go check those out. I agree with you that it is an issue in the economy, like it's causing issues for the economy. But when you also take into account that, again, like what I was just mentioning a second ago, how we're here to test stuff. When we're here to test stuff, it gives you access to those test items, and right now it doesn't make too much sense, but towards the end game, I think they're going to iterate on it and they'll lock certain stuff off. So we'll see. We'll see what happens around launch of the game. What happens with the flea market? Do you think there should be a button for extracting, such as press F to extract, since sometimes there's loots within extracting? Possibly. Not really sure. It's a good point though. Maybe think about that next time you put some loot near the extract or something. I'm not sure. With the new engine, will lighting be much better? I don't know about much better. The significant thing that I remember about the upgrade to Unity 19 is something to do with volumetric fog. If you want to know more about that, I interviewed specific industry professionals that moved from Unity 18 to Unity 19 and asked them what they thought about it and stuff. So go check out my video on Unity 19 if you want to do that. If you want to know more. Yeah, please don't all caps. Hopefully you didn't time him out there. Gently. Airdrops, we don't have a date yet, but the airdrops are planned as unique events for in raid. We don't have too much information on it, and as you saw there, you saw that they've already worked on some artwork for it. Actually, we do have a bit of information. I do remember talking about this in a video where there's going to be multiple types of airdrops. There's going to be dynamic event airdrops where you will hear and see like a helicopter or a plane drop it off, and then you go and you find it. And then there's also going to be static ones where you might walk up on one and see it, and then you didn't know that it had landed, or you hadn't seen it or heard it land, but it's just there anyway. That kind of a thing. I forget when, but I know that they've talked about that recently, and I know that those are the two things they talked about at least for it. So any new info about wipe? Nope. Go check out my 12.11 video if you need more info on that. And that is going to do it for Good Morning Tarkov, guys. Like I said, I usually keep these to about an hour, but if you missed anything, the VOD will be up on my channel very soon, so go check that out. But as usual, guys, if you're looking for the latest Escape from Tarkov news, first I gotta update this a little bit. Just check my channel. I've generally made a video about anything significant in the world of Escape from Tarkov, so I've most likely made a video about whatever you're asking a question about, so go check that out. There's that search bar at the top of the channel there, so you can go check that out and just literally type in whatever you're looking for. Hell, these days if you just type into Google, you might even find it anyway. But yeah, guys, so subscribe to the channel if you're looking for the latest Escape from Tarkov news. Again, we haven't heard anything yet today, but if you want to go check out that 12.11 video, that's the most that we have right now. And if you liked this, make sure you actually hit the like button on these, because these are kind of cool. I want to see if I go into doing some podcasts or something in the future. That's kind of the plan. And if you guys are really interested into this stuff, then I can keep moving on stuff like this. And, another thing, too, is members. Members are going to be a thing either today or tomorrow or whatever, because I got approved for them or whatever. And there's going to be some member-only streams and stuff. This will not be member-only kind of a thing. I'll have a video explaining what I'm going to end up doing with that stuff. But if that's something that you're interested in, keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I will see you tomorrow again at 9 a.m. Eastern United States time, and I also hope you have a nice day. See you guys.